The most important reasons for moving to a different state generally comes down to employment opportunities, cost of living, healthcare quality, public safety, and climate. For decades, southern and western states in the US have seen a substantial amount of population growth. On the other hand, northeast and midwest regions have struggled to gain population. It is fascinating to understand the various factors that helped in developing this pattern. So, without wasting any time, let's dive into the most desirable states in the US right now. Number 10 on the list is North Carolina. From the Appalachian Mountains and Piedmont to Outer Banks, North Carolina offers breathtaking landscapes. Most people moving to North Carolina choose two cities in particular: Charlotte, the most populous city which is also the financial hub of the state, and Raleigh, the capital of North Carolina. By the way, Asheville, a beautiful city in the west, is also quite popular. Over the decades, North Carolina has switched from lumber, tobacco, and textile-based economy to banking, technology, and pharmaceuticals. These new industries, especially banking, has accelerated economic growth in the state. The cost of living in North Carolina is also less than the national average. In addition to that, North Carolina also does well in public safety, education, and healthcare. The Grand Canyon State is the first mountain state on the list. Its capital, Phoenix, is the most populated state capital in the US. The southern part of Arizona has a desert climate, but the northern part has mild summers, a large forest area, and gets a good amount of snow in winters. Steady economic growth is often described as the primary reason behind migration to Arizona. The job growth rate in this state is almost 1% more than the national average. Also, the per capita personal income is rising steadily every year. The cost of living in Arizona is comparable to the national average. Job growth rate is significantly higher than the most states in the US. Being the sunniest state in the US, Arizona attracts a lot of tourists, especially during winters. Not to be confused with the US capital city of Washington, D.C., Washington is the northernmost state in the US. Here, you will find stunning Pacific coastline, mountains, rainforests, deserts, volcanoes, and glaciers. Wow, that's amazing! Seattle is the most populated city in Washington state by a long way. If you visit the city, make sure to visit Space Needle, which is a historical landmark. Also, Washington state is famous for apples and wine production. Industries like agriculture, food, and aerospace are not only a big part of Washington's economy, but are critical to the US as well. These industries have allowed Washington to maintain a steady economic growth for a long period of time. Job growth in this state is at par with the national average. Washington has a robust infrastructure and offers quality healthcare and higher education. Also, pollution is quite low in this state. This upper Midwest state has a small town vibe to it, no matter where you go. Maybe that's the reason why people are moving here. North Dakota is big on agriculture. For your own safety, do not trash talk about farmers and ranchers here. Fun fact, North Dakota is the largest producer of honey in the US for the last 2 decades. That's sweet. Also, Rugby, a city in the North Dakota, is often described as the geographic center of North America. If you are here, don't forget to visit the Theodore Roosevelt National Park. It offers some of the most scenic views of the Badlands. Enchanted Highway in the southwestern part of the state is another famous attraction that shouldn't be missed. Historical data shows North Dakota as one of the least populated states in the US, but in the last decade or so, it has managed to break this pattern. The major contributor to this is the oil production from the Bakken Formation. This oil fortune has increased the GDP of North Dakota significantly. In addition to this, a strong agriculture sector has helped North Dakota to excel in job creation. North Dakota is also considered to have the best infrastructure in the country. In addition to that, the cost of living is also less than the national average. All these factors help North Dakota to attract more people to this beautiful state. The second mountain state on the list, Colorado, is famous for its mountains, the Great Plains, deserts, canyons, and sand dunes. If you like spending time in the outdoors, you will love living in this charming state. The only caveat is that you have to embrace the cold, as Colorado gets cold even in the summer months. Colorado is a winter wonderland, and winter tourism is a big part of the economy. Mining and oil and gas extraction industries also contribute significantly to the state's GSP. Financial services and real estate, rental and leasing sectors also add to the Colorado's economy. Higher education and healthcare in the state are one of the best in the country. All these factors and captivating landscapes make Colorado a great place to start a new life. We are in the top 5 on the list now. Located in the southeastern part of the US, Georgia has a rich history. Since the 1980s, the state has enjoyed rapid economic growth. Bustling cities, beautiful towns, serene countryside, stunning beaches, and grand mountains, Georgia has it all. The weather here is also pleasant throughout the year. Atlanta, the capital city of Georgia, has the busiest airport in the world. In addition to that, the Port of Savannah in the city of Savannah, obviously, is one of the largest seaports in the country. This has allowed Georgia to transform itself into a major transportation hub in the US. Georgia's lumber and agriculture sectors are also quite robust. In job creation, Georgia is at par with the national average. On top of that, economic stability, low taxes, and low cost of living make Georgia a desirable destination for migration. Welcome to the tropical paradise, where it is unnaturally bright all the time. Florida in winters turns into a one big giant party. It is famous for its beach resorts and amusement parks. It is often said that Florida is the best place to start a new life. But seriously, watch out for the gators, giant insects, and wild traffic. Florida has the 4th largest economy in the US, and there is no personal income tax. Tourism is obviously the most important part of the Florida's economy. Because of its tropical climate, Florida also has a booming agriculture sector. Surprisingly, the cost of living in Florida is less than the national average, and taxes are one of the lowest in the country. In addition to that, quality of higher education is also top-notch in the state. The Lone Star State is one of those athletes who can't get the number 1 position no matter how hard they try. Interestingly, Texas is the 2nd largest state behind Alaska, 2nd most populated state behind California, and also the 2nd biggest economy in the US, again after California. Most of the population in Texas is located in the east, within the areas like Dallas-Fort Worth, Houston, San Antonio, and Austin, which is the state's capital. The biggest industry in the Texas economy is petroleum and natural gas. Different processes within this industry make most of the Texas GSP. Historically, agriculture sector has been a major contributor to the state's economy. IT and real estate sectors also contribute greatly in the Texas GSP. Job growth in Texas is way more than the national average. In addition to that, cost of living in Texas is also less than the national average. If you produce 1/3 of nation's potatoes, you can't escape from the prestigious nickname the Potato State. By the way, Idaho is officially known as the Gem State, as it produces more than 70 types of gemstones. Located in the northwest of the country, Idaho is famous for its riveting mountains, forests, and rivers. Agriculture, manufacturing, and tourism make a large part of the Idaho's economy. Real estate and healthcare sectors have accelerated the economic growth of the state. Thanks to these industries and sectors, Idaho's job growth rate is more than the national average. Also, Idaho ranks very high when it comes to public safety, quality of higher education, healthcare, and infrastructure. Like most states on our list, cost of living in Idaho is also less than the national average. This is the 4th mountain state on our list. In fact, all mountain states except New Mexico are doing quite good when it comes to economic growth. Utah has unreal and diverse landscapes due to Rocky Mountains, the Great Basin, and the Colorado Plateau. Some of the places that you should check out in Utah are Arches National Park, Bryce Canyon National Park, the Great Salt Lake, the Bonneville Salt Flats, Canyonlands National Park, and Utah's many famous ski resorts like Deer Valley. After all, Utah has the greatest snow on Earth. Mining sector laid the foundation of economic growth in Utah, but in recent years, Utah has diversified its economy significantly. The biggest contributors to Utah's economy right now are real estate and rental and leasing, manufacturing, services, retail, and IT. Utah is one of the best states in the country when it comes to infrastructure and quality of education and healthcare. Job growth rate in the state is way higher than the national average. Also, as you may have guessed, cost of living is also less than the national average. All these factors make Utah the best state to live in the US. I hope you liked the video. As always, thanks for watching and do check out this video about cost of living in Europe.